Welcome to the Higher Education Access Corner. I'm your host, Tiffanie DeVan, a Higher Education Access Partner with the Pennsylvania Higher Education Assistance Agency, also known as PHIA. And today I'm going to be talking to you about life beyond high school, key steps on how to prepare for college. Today's episode focuses on exploring your options, and I'm going to share some tips on how to search for the right career, as well as how to find the right school for students who are looking for some options beyond high school. Now, quite often when we're younger, we always think about the different options that are available to us as far as careers are concerned. And I think many of us have been asked that question, what it is that they want to do when they grow up. And that's no different as adults. We start to think about different career changes and different paths. So today's episode, I really want to focus on the high school student, but this information also applies to those who are just looking for a career change, and that's okay. So when you're thinking about different careers that are out there, I always say start to think about what it is you want to do beyond high school, and if you could do anything in the world that you wanted to do without restrictions, what would that look like? And then once you figured it out, I always tell students, let's think about some additional things. Once you know what you want to do, what does that job or career require of you? What type of skill set will you need in order to go into that particular field? Will you need certain types of training beyond high school? And will it include things such as a trade school? Maybe it's some on-the-job training that you need. And you won't even have to go to some additional school, get some additional schooling. Possibly you'll need a bachelor's degree. So I'm going to tap into these things just a little bit more, just to make sure that everyone is aware of all of their options and just even how to research some of these things. I'll also later on talk about how do you want to pay for those things. So we'll talk about some paying options as well. And what should you be doing right now to prepare? So when we're talking about different options that are out there, some of the things that I found helpful is to start thinking about your dream job. If you can do anything in the world, what would it be? And in order to have your dream job, I always say it has to encompass three things. Number one, something that you love to do. So think of a job that you absolutely love to do. Also think of a job that you think you're good at, or you could be good at. Maybe you have to go to school and get some skills in order to become good at it, but you can be good at doing this job. And then can you earn a living doing it? If you can find a job that encompasses all three, then in fact, I always say you have generally found your dream job. Statistically speaking, they say less than 40% of the people who work in a career actually work in their dream job. So I'm hoping that most students, if you're starting your research now, you start to think about what that dream job could be, and hopefully you can land your dream job. Me in particular, I like the job that I do. It's a great job. But if I could talk about my dream job, I would be probably that professional taste tester. I don't know if any of you ever remember this show called The Chew. There was a show where they're out there eating gourmet foods and doing all of that sort of stuff. Now, why is that my dream job? Number one, I absolutely love to eat, and I'm pretty good at eating it. So that's the second one. Find something that you're good at doing. I love to eat. I'm good at eating. Unfortunately, it is not my dream job because I have not found anyone that will pay me to do that. So therefore, I'm a higher education access partner, and I do still love what I do. When you're starting to think about these things, in addition to looking for that particular dream job and thinking of finding what you can find, also consider some other things such as about yourself. Do you like to work alone? Do you like to work in a crowd? You also want to think about, are you willing to learn the skills needed in order to perform the job? For instance, let's say you want to be a nurse, and I'm just throwing this one out there. But if you want to be a nurse, it is going to require some type of schooling beyond high school. You have to be committed in order to get the schooling that is needed in order to perform the task. Not too many people are going to accept a nurse coming into a system if they don't have the knowledge and the skill set needed. I also say never sell yourself short. If you think it may be a little challenging, that is okay. There are resources that will help students who may struggle from time to time in different subjects. Don't quit on yourself, believe in yourself, and know that it's a viable option. Also, are you willing to commit to the additional schooling that may be required? Some students will say, I don't really like school, but you know it's necessary, so therefore you're going to finish the program. While others may say, I absolutely love it and I'm willing to do what I need to do. And different schools will require different timings for how long you'll be in school, I should say. And then also you want to consider, will the job that you have really support the type of lifestyle that you want to live? So again, let's just say You have no idea what it is that you want to do. Or maybe you are that person who does know exactly what you want to do. You've known ever since you were a child what you wanted to do. Think about what is needed in order to go into that particular field. And that will be the next step beyond just your research of different careers and different fields that are out there. There are different types of schools that are out there in order to help you reach your goal. Maybe you're looking into a job where all of the learning and skill set that you're going to need, you're going to be able to go straight into the workforce and get it. In other words, you're going to get some on-the-job training. You may even get paid in order to do the work, and then you can begin your career. Some schools will tell you some jobs will only require you to get a trade. So maybe you don't have to go to school as long. So maybe it's a business school, technical school, or trade school. Those particular schools, you're usually going to be enrolled less than 2 years. So it's not as long, but you're usually going to go right into your career field a lot sooner. So you're going to start making and earning the money a lot sooner than someone who may want to be a doctor, which is going to require a 4-year degree and beyond. We also have our community colleges, 4-year schools. What I always say is once you know what type of career you want to go into, you want to start the exploration piece into the different types of schools that are available and then try to find the perfect fit for you. But before I talk about more schooling and more careers, I also say maybe you're that student who's not really sure that they're ready to go to school right now, and that's okay as well. What I say is continue to explore your different options. I also say don't discount the military because some students are pretty certain that they want to go into the military. And if that is okay, if that's something you want to do, then you want to take the steps that you need in order to go into that particular workforce. Another thing I tell students, and if you're not quite sure, a great resource that is out there is educationplanner.org. That is one of our websites at FIA. And what it does is we have so many different options for you at educationplanner.org. We have a section specific for students where they can do assessments about themselves just to try to figure out what type of student they are, what type of learner they are. They can also do some career exploration to figure out what exactly a nurse does or what exactly an architect does. It also will tell you then, what soft skills you might need. So let's just say I am not a people person, and let's just say I don't even really like people. Then my job, you wouldn't want because you're interacting with people all the time. You're assisting people. And although I love to do it, some people may not. So you want to get a feel for what it is you like and what you don't like. There are great assessments that are out there on educationplanner.org that can help you figure these things out. It can also help you figure out what the cost of what the starting salaries will look like for you when you're entering those particular fields, and also whether it's a growing field or if it's a field that's kind of stagnant where you're not necessarily going to find a great deal of opportunities for employment once you leave school. I also tell students once you go through the educationplanner.org, there's a part where it's going to direct you to another website called mynextmove.org. This is also a great website to go to because it really breaks out the skill set that's needed, the abilities, whether you need good verbal and written and communication skills. Even talks about personality traits that are out there. What type of personalities really do best under certain particular careers. And then also I tell students, if you're interested in specific careers, see if you can find someone in that particular career to talk to. Maybe if you want to be a nurse, well, you know what? When you go to the doctor's office, talk to those nurses. Ask them what it is they love about their job. Maybe what they don't like about their job. Let them know that you're interested in it. Maybe they may have some suggestions for you that will make it a lot easier for you. I also say while you're considering all of the different options for you while you're in high school, you really want to start making sure you're in touch with your guidance office, with your school counselors, to make sure that you're on track and taking the right courses that you need in order to further your education. So if you want to be a nurse, maybe you have to take so many English courses or so many math courses. You want to make sure that you're on track with doing that. If you have an idea of what you want to do, 9th grade is the optimal time to check in with your counselors and then continue to check in with them every single year. Generally, when I'm talking to students, they don't really know and haven't even started to explore these options until their junior year in high school. And that's okay. But if you're doing it in your junior year in high school, you want to make sure that you're really honing in and you want to make sure that you're preparing yourself for your senior year. Because when it's time for your senior year, you're going to have to start to choose a school. You're going to have to start taking the tests that maybe will get you into the desired school that you want. So again, talk to your guidance counselors. You also want to talk to those who are in the particular career fields. And again, make sure that you review those websites such as educationplanner.org, also mynextmove.org. I also tell students, if you're not quite sure also of what you want to do when you leave high school, that's okay. Don't go in and declare a major immediately knowing that this is not the area that you want to go into. Students who do that tend to drop out a lot sooner, possibly transfer schools. And the more you transfer, or if you're dropping out and you ended up borrowing student loans or taking out money, kind of puts you in debt or it sets you behind. So it's okay to go in undecided. It's okay so that you're just taking your general ed courses in the beginning. Some things what I'll tell students when it's time to explore schools. There are so many different schools that are out there and so many to choose from. So we have everything from a business school, technical school, trade school, community college, four-year school, and beyond. And like I said, all of these schools are options for you. You just want to make sure that whichever school you choose, you're choosing the right school for you. So you want to choose a school that's going to meet your needs. So once you've decided what your major is, you want to make sure the school you choose has your program of study. So if you want to be a nurse, you don't want to choose a school that doesn't really have a nursing program, and you want to make sure it's an accredited nursing program as well. I also say consider things such as the courses and the class size. You want to take courses that are challenging and that will get you the education that you need in order to go on and start your program. You also want to make sure you're in the right sort of class size. Some students don't want to feel like a number. So maybe a big university with big lecture style classrooms is not the choice for you. Maybe you want a more personalized feel where the professors know you by name. They may know whether you showed up to class, and maybe if you had some troubles and you didn't show up to class. So you want to choose a smaller class size. Also, location is key. If you want to be in a big city, rural area, maybe an urban area, whichever your choices are, you want to make sure that you're choosing the right thing for you. You also want to make sure that those student services are available to you. If you happen to need some extra courses, maybe you had an IAP or something like that, and you still need some extra assistance, make sure that the schools you're interested in attending can accommodate your requests. Also, do you want to live on campus or off campus? These are all different things that you want to think about. Some of the best ways in order to figure out what is out there is when those schools have college fairs, make sure that you attend them. Talk to the admissions department, the admissions staff that are coming to you. Ask them key questions. Ask them some of the best things that their campus has to offer. If you know specifically what you're looking for, then you want to make sure you're asking the key questions from them. You can even write it down ahead of time. I also always say, if you know someone who's going to a specific school, ask the alumni there, what led them to that school? Why aren't they there? And always, always, always check in with the financial aid office, because no matter which school it is you're interested in, there will be a cost associated with it. And you want to make sure that you have the resources that you need in order to cover those particular costs. Also, make sure you know what the school's admission requirements are. Some schools have a very, very stringent acceptance policy, while others are very, very lenient. So you want to make sure that you've done everything you needed to do. Do you need to take an ACT or SAT exam? If so, you want to make sure you're preparing yourself in order to do that. You want to know what their deadlines are for admissions. And you also want to make sure that you're talking to your family, you're talking to your counselors and other adults that can help you decide and narrow down your choices. All in all, I always say to students, the choices that you make will impact your cost. It will impact how quickly you make it through school, but you ultimately want to make sure that this is a good fit for you. Finding the right school is a tough task, and it's a challenging task. So if you can start as early as 9th grade just by attending the college fair and asking the questions. And I do know sometimes if I'm attending a college fair, a lot of times the students will kind of huddle over in a corner because they're nervous, and it's okay to be nervous, but this is your time to ask the questions. Admissions counselors will want students in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade as well. So they know that you're probably nervous. So don't be afraid. Go out there, ask them the questions that you need to get the answers that you're looking for to help make you a decision. Now, what are some of the things that you should be doing now? I say while you're in high school, study hard just to do your best. Make the good grades that you need to make. If you're being challenged by certain classes, don't shy away from getting help. talk to your teachers, talk to your parents, talk to your counselors to see if there's tutoring available or additional resources that can get you the grades that you need and to help you advance to the next class. Also, remember what is needed in order to enter the careers that you're interested in attending. So once you've figured out what career you want to go into, learn what classes you need to take. You also want to know what type of schools will offer your program of study. So remember, you're doing that as well. And don't forget, researching those schools really makes a big difference. Tour the campus if you can, get a good feel for it. View the school's websites if you're not able to tour the campus. A lot of schools have virtual tours, and you can actually tour the schools. If you get an opportunity to actually go on campus, talk to the students who are there, just to get a feel for what their experiences are like. It may sometimes help you decide what you want to do. And also, if you're not able to attend a college fair 9th, 10th, or 11th grade, it's okay to still do that in your 12th grade year. It's never too late to start checking out your particular options. Whatever it is you choose to do and you're doing your exploration, know that you are not alone. Know that there are resources available to you, from your guidance counselors to your teachers and your staff, to your parents and your guardians, as well as us here at FIA. We're all resources for you, and we all wish you the best of luck with everything. We're also, I also say, join me for the next episode of the Higher Education Access Corner, where I will be talking about finding the right fit and how to actually apply and decide on a school. So this has been the first episode of Key Steps on How to Prepare for College, Life Beyond High School. Thank you for joining me, and I'm Tiffanie DeVan.